Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Inside Guns with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. And I'm not sure why I'm doing finger guns here, but let's get past that. Tonight, I want to talk to you about something that was brought to my attention in the live chat that pissed me off. It was a quote by a Nebraskan senator, Megan Hunt. Now, a couple of people sent this to me, and when I heard it, or actually when I read it, since it was in a text form, I got mad. A little mad at first, but then the more I thought about it, the madder I got. And I'll say why I kept getting madder in a little bit here. But first, let's read the quote. And what the quote is about, it's about a bill that is in the Nebraska legislature right now that would allow constitutional carry. And she is against this bill. And one of the ways she was arguing against it is this quote here. She said, "Owning a gun is not a God-given right. It's a slave-owning, misogynistic, founding father-given right." Basically, she's saying the whole idea of gun ownership was something that was come up with by racists, and therefore this whole law that would just allow anyone to carry a gun, it's obviously a racist law, and that's why you should oppose it, because gun ownership is a racist thing. So speaks the white savior. Her. I'm talking about her, not me. I ain't a white savior of anybody. But I want to talk about why this made me mad. But first I want to talk about, I agree with her with two things. Two things about her statement there I agree with. I agree that gun ownership is not a God-given right. It's granted to us by our Constitution as Americans. If it was a God-given right, we would never have to fight for it. If God, a supreme being, wanted us to have that right, we'd have it. Nature only gives you one real right in the world, and that is to eat or be eaten. Everything else we have to fight for ourselves. And we definitely need to fight for our Second Amendment rights and continue fighting for them. So I agree with her there that it's not God-given, because even atheists have gun rights. So that's one thing I agree with her with. The other thing I agree with her on is that this bill is racist. Just not in the way she'd like you to think. And it's not actually racist. A bill can't be racist. A person can be racist. But a bill can definitely have a racial bias, and this bill does. But it's not what she'd like you to think. This bill does not harm black people, brown people, Asian people, people of any color. If anyone, it actually works against white people. It helps minorities. One of the things that I got madder about as I thought about this was not just her opinion, but the fact that she was speaking for a group of people that she knows nothing about and doesn't know anything about their hardships. Because I hate to break it to her, you're standing against this bill on, I don't want to be a racist and this gun stuff is racist. Letting people have guns, this bill is racist. Well, that's garbage. You're just speaking from your white, probably upper middle class, white lady perspective. And you do not understand the issues at all. I hate to break it to you, most of the major civil rights leaders throughout history have been very pro-gun because they understand the dangers and the indignity of being denied your gun rights and the ability to protect yourself. So first off, I should say, you should apologize to every minority out there for speaking and letting words like that come out of your fat white mouth, or at least, well, she's not fat, but her overly made up white mouth, that's a lot of bass in this picture, because you don't know what you're talking about. But that's one of the things that pissed me off. Just some white upper crust lady talking about, the trials of minorities and how gun rights are, against them and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, most gun control laws are racist, and those do hurt minorities. This is not the case with this bill because it does have a racial bias. But like I said, it ain't helping white people. Because historically, the people that haven't had an easy time getting guns is racist white people. They've never been stopped from owning firearms. It's minorities that have been stopped. And this bill allows everyone to carry. So people that normally wouldn't have as ready access to being able to carry now will, because they won't need a permit. There are a lot of minority people who are legal, law-abiding citizens no real record to speak of that would disqualify them from owning a gun, but they don't want to go through the hassle of going to a gun shop, much less actually having to go to the county and ask for permission or go to a training session, because they feel if I get a gun permit and I get pulled over on a traffic stop, I might get shot because I'm a black person with a gun permit. Remember Philando Castile? That was something I made a big deal about on my channel. I don't think enough people did. But that's a legitimate concern some black people had. When it's a registered system, that means when the cops pull you over, they know you've got a gun. And if they know you're black, well, then they're automatically on high alert and they get those twitchy trigger fingers. And I don't contradict that. I don't have their experience, so I believe their experience when they tell me that, unlike this lady that we were talking about before. Like I said, white racists have never had any trouble getting guns. It's been historically minorities that have had trouble getting guns, or at least, especially permits to carry them openly in public. Not so much openly, maybe concealed, but carry them in public, period. That's been something they've been denied for a long time. This gives them that. It also helps a lot of people that are poor. It's biased towards poor people, because people that have enough money to pay for a permit, enough extra time to go through training or go to the county and fill out the papers and get fingerprinted and everything, those people, like I said, have historically not had a problem getting a gun permit unless they live in a very restrictive state like California or New York. Generally, in most states that have been very gun friendly, the people that had the easiest time getting gun permits have been upper middle class people, especially upper middle class white people, at least middle class. The poorer you are, and minorities are more likely to be poor. So the poorer you are, the harder it is to have the time or the money to make the extra effort to get a gun permit. This bill, because it takes away those infringements, it takes away those poll tax-like things, it means more people can exercise their rights. If they have a gun like their dad left them, now they don't have to go get permission to carry it for self-defense. They don't have to go ask the state to be able to do it. So this is actually a very racially biased bill, because it's biased greatly towards people that have been disenfranchised in the past from being able to go through the hoops of being able to carry a gun. Poor people, racial minorities, etc. People that have been historically, like I said, denied the ability to carry. This benefits them more than it does white people, especially more than it does upper middle class white people, and upper class white people. Like I say, they've never had a problem being defended and getting guns. What this bill does, it makes it possible for people that were denied before to carry now. Even when they were, even though they were denied for no reason other than the fact that they didn't have time, money, or capability, or they had reasons to believe that it was more dangerous for them to get a permit than not have one, like I mentioned. Even though it was no real bad thing about them, it was just their circumstances. This takes away that, and it gives them the right to just carry the gun. If you've got it, carry it. It's like if you smoke them if you got them. Now it's carry them if you got them. And there is no denying that this will disproportionately help poor people and minorities. And the fact that this white female, probably, like I said, upper middle class woman from Nebraska wants to paint something that is as visibly anti-racist. It's it's an equality thing. It makes everyone equal when it comes to the Second Amendment. To try to pretend that that is racist shows just how out of touch she is, and how she should really keep her mouth shut when it comes to racial issues, and apparently gun issues too, because she's completely ignorant of the history. All right, everybody, as usual, I talked way longer than I thought I would. This time because, a little bit of a heated topic. But hopefully tomorrow I'll be a little more calm. So hopefully I'll see you again then. I want to say thanks for coming tonight. And like I said, hopefully you'll come back tomorrow. Until then, remember, always carry, especially if you live in a constitutional state, because then everybody can. So always carry despite your skin color or your socioeconomic status. And stay safe until I see you again.